Chad, obviously, start with your running backs. I mean, what would you ask of them this summer? What did they accomplish, did you think?
Well, I knew we was going to put them guys in position to play a lot more than they played last year. So this summer, the singular focus this summer was to be able to learn all the formations so they can line up across the formation when we got two of them in the game. Obviously, when it's one in the game, it's fairly easy. But when we got two of them in the game, one is, one we ask them to play across the formation. I ask them to be able to learn the formation so they can get lined up.
Did they accomplish that well, did you think?
Thus far, yesterday I thought we weren't as crisp. We ended up in the right spot. We weren't urgent getting there the first time, and so that was one of the focuses today was for those guys to be able to go get in line like they would if they were in the backfield by themselves. So yesterday not as great. Today we were better.
As Jordan, I'll ask you, what point do you have to start making decisions? I know you're not at that point yet,
Right.
but the sooner the better, I'm guessing.
Absolutely, man. The sooner the better, no question. I don't want to put a time limit on it, but definitely the sooner the better. I mean, we constantly emphasize those guys. They're being evaluated absolutely every single day. We're doing a 2-spot deal right now, so guys can get reps and they can even prove that they're ready to play, or either now or maybe not early, not so much early on, maybe later, but definitely sooner than later. We got to be able to make a decision and see who can help us right now.
What about other positions on the offense? Obviously, you've got quarterback. That's an issue.
Yep.
What about other areas? When do those things start making, those decisions start happening?
Well, we got some young talent. So, in particular, like the slot position, for example, you got a guy, Jeremiah Aaron's got some experience, has made some plays, and you got a young, talented, freshman, Rodney Gallagher had a phenomenal day today. He made some tough, competitive catches. You got a young, talented kid in Jaheim White who's shown the ability on spring ball. He's really shown the ability throughout the summer and thus far in these 2 days to be able to flex out and pretty special with the ball in his hands. So, guys like that, if we putting those guys in position to see if they can help us right now. That's a position that's a competitive position, even in the running back spot right now. It's a deep group, and they all got unique running styles, and we got to be able to see who can do what and who can do what consistently as well. And then also on the outside receiver, we got some talented guys too that we need to be able to stretch the field. We got some newcomers, got experience, but not a lot of playing experience here. Behind the guys that we had last year, that's departed right now. So. A lot of key positions that we got outside that we need to be able to figure out who can help us and who can play and make some plays.
And I guess O-line, you're looking at maybe 6, 7, 8, that type of deal there. Who are those guys going to be?
Absolutely, and that's the biggest thing, the 6, 7, 8. Obviously, from the left tackle to the right tackle. And I told them guys to stay. That's the nucleus of our offensive attack is those guys right there. So from that left tackle to right tackle, we solidified. But you're right, to figure out who can be the 6th, 7th, and 8th guy for us down the line.
You mentioned Jaheim White. Are you playing him more at slot than running back, or?
Both right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid that we got to get the ball in his hands. And obviously, we're not being smart about it. We're seeing how much he can carry in terms of how much he can pick up on right now. And that's the beauty of having a 2-spot. It gives a lot of reps, be able to show us what he can handle. And it's good for him. One thing that he can't handle when the ball's in his hands, he's special. So we won't ask a lot of him because he's talented. And obviously, when you got a guy that talented, the worst thing we could do is make him play a whole lot slower than what he is, and he's fast. So we're not going to do that.
How's his ball skills?
Great ball skills.
Okay, so
he got great ball skills.
That lends the slot maybe a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Great ball skills, and like I said, these reps are really beneficial for him. And so, like I said, we knew he was fast. We knew he was special with the ball in his hands. So we want him to continue to be fast. And so we can't put a lot on his plate to force him to go out there and think. And thus far, we've done a good job of that. So he got to keep taking care of his body and be available for us.
This league has had some little backs like that have been pretty special. Think of a couple of Kansas State over the years.
Ain't no doubt. Well, I'm like a fly on the wall. I like to overhear them defensive guys talking. Just overhearing them guys talk, they can't find him. He hard to find, and you can't find him. And obviously talk about pad level, right? Well, he got it naturally, right? And so, and he's fast, and he sees it really well. Got phenomenal vision. So excited about what he can do with the ball in his hands.
Take all those little guys and give him 21, 22, 23, and give them the same type of numbers.
Ain't no doubt.
Who are these guys?
Ain't no doubt.
A couple of the young backs, sort of opposite ends of the size spectrum. DJ Oliver and then Judah Price. What have you seen from them?
DJ Oliver, man, he's a load. I tell him and CJ Donaldson, man, the worst. When defensive guys can see the 4 and the 20, which is what DJ Oliver is wearing, they got to make business decisions. You know, and there was some big guys, you know, and with their momentum going forward. You know, I was telling you, I mean, you're an efficient runner naturally, 4 yards, just running north, vertical mentality. And so DJ's looked really good thus far. It's phenomenal. Because when he first got here, they weren't sure, at least his teammates, what position he played. They know what he is now. He can run the football. He can run the ball. And then Judah's he's done really good thus far as well. I've been pleasantly surprised. Not in terms, he just hadn't been here as long. And he's got some reps, and he's picking up on the offense pretty good. I'm excited about him. He's competitive.
Talking about this slot, you mentioned he's maybe a bigger guy there. I think you mentioned no mask. What does size get you in this slot?
The ability to be able to block on the perimeter big time. You know, obviously play some teams where that that nickel position they call spear and or whatnot is sometimes a thicker body, and you know having the ability to be able to put a guy there like Noah Massey that's has good size but also has good ball skills as well. You know, doesn't allow us to be one dimensional. He can run routes and catch the ball as well, but also be able to be effective in the run game. But that's huge for us to have a guy like Massey.
Yeah, talking earlier with Jordan Leslie about correcting mistakes, video and the likes. That's a hard thing to do. I assume. When I was coming up, they just yelled at you and embarrassed you and showed film to everybody in the world. How do you guys handle it? How do you handle it? Is it an individual thing or?
Well, here's the thing. I told his offense coaches this: we got to do a phenomenal job as coaches being clear. You know, we got to provide clarity for those guys, so there's absolutely no gray area, and those guys are confident in what they're being taught to do, and that they can go out there and have the confidence and the courage to be able to take risks and go play football. You know, so we got to do a phenomenal job as coaches being clear in our coaching and our teaching. So those guys, they know exactly what to do. And at that point, they either do or they don't. It's a production-based business. And I told those guys that, day one. But I've always preached this even to the backs. We don't favor seniority. We favor production. You know, it's about producing when your number's called, producing away from the football. And so we grade these guys on a production base every single day. And we got to be consistent with that and then tell these guys the truth. And it's good, when you tell the guys the truth and you keep it clear, they're able to see it. They can regurgitate it to you right away on the football field. You know, like, for example, Jalen Anderson had him, he's had a phenomenal 2 days as well. And, he had a hiccup on a particular play on a defensive field today, and he came to me immediately and was able to tell me. So when you're keeping your teaching clear and those guys know exactly what to do, not only do they know what's the issue, but they know the answers to it and they can get it fixed right away. So that's the best answer I can give you is that we got, as coaches, we've been doing a great job of keeping the teaching clear, so it's no gray, and they either go out there and they either do it or they don't, and we grade them on a production every day.
Will your responsibilities on game day change much now that you're offensive coordinator?
More so. First of all, I got to be on the football field. I'm an energy guy. I got to be down. I don't know if you guys are in the football field. I kind of get in the zone. I just be kind of out of there. But I'll do more so just being able to. No, really about the same. I'm gonna give in-game adjustments in the run game. I see the run game really well in terms of how we game plan it, how we put the guys in position to call whatever plays we need to call. So as far as that, that stuff will remain the same. Yeah, more so the organization all behind it, putting the ideas to the pad. Try to put so Coach Brown go out there and be able to call a game. I'm saying a cool, calm, and collective pace. But more so just the organization behind putting the ideas to the pad and helping him, put guys in the best position to be successful and make plays, so he can go out there and call it at ease on Saturdays.
You mentioned Thursday's the big day where you guys kind of go through and map out your plan. You go through the analytics, the data, and all that. Do you literally go through a game? Do you kind of mock that out and go through that and say, okay, this is what we're going to do first in this situation or second in this situation? Do you plot your way down and do that, or is it just basically based off analytics and data?
Well, everybody's different. You do it both. You do it both ways. Look at all the games. We look at everybody kind of game plan, break it down differently. You always look at the analytics toward the end of the week. And see how you would make decisions or whatnot, and whatever situation that may come up during the game. But you really just kind of, everybody does it different. You got guys that, may just look at, cut-ups of certain games and, develop a feel for that. I'm a little bit different. I like to be able to look at games and get a feel for, how defenses attack and, what teams do to hurt them and what's the answer to stop them and then go to the cut-ups and have ideas in that regard.
So if you have a third and fourth situation in a certain area of the field, the analytics are going to tell you what that defense is going to do, I guess.
Right. Exactly. So they'll tell you what defense is going to do, right? And then they may tell you, what's best to do to attack them to be successful. In that particular situation during the game, you got to be able to make a decision whether you listen to analytics or you go with what you saw on film throughout the week, right? Sometimes it's tough. In my mind, the way I am, I like to take risks. I like to trust my, my game plan and all the things that I studied throughout the week and trust my instinct sometimes and take some risks. We're talented enough to do that. So that's my mindset.
Hey, Chad, Deshaun and Devin, those are guys who played a good bit. And you can watch Dave and get a lot of details on that, but like Massey, different level. Gordon just he's been around and played a whole lot.
Right.
I guess, how do you, those are hard readouts, I guess, to figure out what you're getting and how they project. They're different guys, it seems like.
Yeah, they're different guys.
Yeah, how did you come about that, figuring those two right guys, and how is that different from a guy like Carter or Bobo who's a ton of the guy?
Right. Well, we needed a guy with speed. We needed somebody to be able to stretch the football field. Lost that in Sam James, obviously, last year. So we needed a guy to be able to stretch the field vertically. And so, that was E.J. Horton's deal. And Massey, we needed a bigger body in the inside. Outside of just, I know you got Traylon Davis and Cole Taylor, but needed more like a true hybrid kind of guy that can flex out and be like a, athletic slot. It can be a mismatch in a route game and also like a, hybrid kind of guy that can be able to go block on the perimeter. So that was the thought process behind being able to acquire both of those guys. And thus far throughout camp, the two spot it gives us a chance to be able to see exactly what it is they can do or cannot do to help us moving forward.
No, this isn't a question you'll answer publicly, but amongst your coaches, when you evaluate receivers, do you ask yourself, which guys can we count on third down? Who are the guys that are going to make the catches and the plays that we need? Is that something that's important to you guys when you talk about that?
Absolutely, and then we'll be able to see that, and as we get in pass, in particular like in the earlier part of the camp with the scrimmages and when we do situational play, that's exactly what we're trying to evaluate. Who can make those particular plays in those situational periods. When we get to, scrimmage situation and we're going, this is a third down period and third and medium, third and long, and we putting these guys in position to make these plays, we're evaluating who can make those plays and who can do it consistently. Absolutely.
You don't know that right now. You've got such a
right. We don't know that right now because we obviously just started, and that's important for the quarterbacks to be able to know that as well. The quarterbacks got to have a level of comfortability, knowing them third and long or whatnot where they're going with the ball. It's going to be times with the quarterbacks we have that we may call a certain play, but heck, they may just know that this particular receiver is a sure-handed receiver, and I'm gonna take a shot and give my best player a chance to make a play in a situational play, which I absolutely love. I've always been a big advocate in situational play, whether game on line, in the game, into the half, those red zone, third and long. It ain't the play, it's the player. We got to put the ball in the hands of the best player, and so when we get into those situations, we're evaluating that, and that's that's just as good for us, but also for those quarterbacks as well.
How does Tony leaving kind of shake up the running back split?
Well, I don't really want to speak on him. He's a great player. He was a great player for us and graduated, whatnot. But he was just, he was an older guy in the room. He was, he was a leader in the room. Did a phenomenal job, phenomenal work ethic. But we got a talented group. We always, every year I tell them guys, we always trying to go out and, recruit a guy to come in and replace him, man. And the unique thing I love about our group, we got a great group. It's a competitive group. We got a guy that goes out and makes a play. The other guys, they done soak. They want to go make that same play. And I'm pretty sure you guys you've seen it on film and in the games, man. They the biggest cheerleader. They all root for each other. So it's a competitive room, and the guys have done a great job this summer stepping up and being leaders for us. Right now, JJ's the oldest guy in the room, and he's done a great job being a leader. And so, I'm excited about what we got moving forward with those guys in there.
Chad, how much education do you have to do with your backs? And what you're going to do differently with the offense this year. I mean, you've got a lot more tight ends,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to see some more of that.
Right.
Running with them on the field
Mm-hmm.
is different than just out of a one back, one tight kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is that part of this, educational process that you've got to learn too? And do you have one or two guys maybe that take more naturally to that?
Yeah, we do. And we got to be honest with the guys. You got guys like, for example, like CJ was a tight end, right? So, he's played that his whole life. This will be his second year playing running back. So, he's a natural guy that will be able to, play in multiple positions across formation. Jaheim White's a, very talented guy, got great ball skills. He's a guy as well as Jalen Anderson. You could classify him as an athlete coming out of high school. And then those would be the three guys that will, put in position to play across the formation. So, got to spend a lot more time. They got to do a phenomenal job outside of the meeting time, required time, which they have done thus far. And in the summertime, coming in and studying a little more extra so they can learn, some different things as far as coverage that they're typically not accustomed to doing, so they can be in position to do that. And a lot of it, again, just telling those guys the truth. Everybody's not going to be able to do that. DJ Oliver can say, Coach, man, I catch that ball too. But listen, y'all ain't looking for us to go flex DJ Oliver out in the slot at 245 pounds. So you got to be honest with those guys. I ain't saying you can't do it. And I told them guys this the other day, that you got to be great at what you are. I'm not saying that you can't work on your weaknesses. Whatever it is you great at, you got to be great at that. Jaheim White is a make you miss guy. You got to be great at making people miss. I ain't saying you can't break tackles, but you got to do that. CJ, you break tackles, get downhill, be great at that. So you got to be honest with those guys. Not saying they can't do those things. So right now, those three guys we will have playing across formation. And then the other guys will be the guys that would, really kind of just stick to playing in the backfield. They'll catch the ball out of the backfield, but we're not going to ask them to go, and flex out and do some things. So we got to be smart about what we're doing. But the biggest thing is just be to tell those guys the truth on the front end, so there's no surprises and that kind of deal.
Basics, just in running behind, say, tight ends or other people as blockers, that's different than just running behind 5 offensive linemen. I assume different guys have different abilities and their way to read and react to those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I love about it, the tight ends we got, I like to call them hybrids. Them tight ends just old school guys, put the hand on the ground and just come down and block and mash. I like to call the guys hybrids. They got the ability to be able to do both. Traylon Davis and Cole Taylor showing the ability to be able to block in line, be able to block in the hip position, we call it. And also from those same positions, be able to go run routes. And so just that ability to be able to not be predictable. I think that's our biggest thing, man. We got to be unpredictable in that sense. So those guys having that flexibility to be, multidimensional gives us a greater presence, and it takes a lot of pressure off of us, as well as those quarterbacks having the ability to be able to run. So I'm excited about, the possibilities in his offense and the things we can do. We got to do a great job as coaches, like I said, being clear in our teaching and keeping it simple. So those guys with the natural ability they got, speed, hands, they can go out and have the confidence and the courage to go take risks and make plays for us.
Does that unpredictability go to your personnel too?
Absolutely. And again, throughout this process, as we're going through camp, those are the things that we're evaluating as well. Some of the things that certain guys could do, and then try to make everything look the same, And so from a defense, you can't tell we get in this particular personnel, it's going to be run or pass or this concept. So that is going to be that is exactly what we're trying to evaluate right now, see who can do that for us. So we can stay out of the unpredictability because we're talented. So that's going to be huge for us, stay out of the unpredictability. Out of the predictability, rather.
What's DJ's strength? This guy was like a weightlifter, but also a sprinter.
DJ Oliver?
Yeah.
His strength? Getting downhill.
Seems like a make you miss, right?
Getting downhill right now. Well, he's a downhill runner. Getting downhill, and he does a phenomenal job thus far. And now we're not in pass, so you can't see it. And defensive guys are not fitting up. So I'm not saying he's breaking tackles, but they don't necessarily fit up on him like they should sometimes when he's getting downhill. That would be his strength, is getting downhill right now. And he's doing what I tell them all to do, play like freshmen. They don't know a lot right now. They just know to put the head down. They don't really know what's important or not. They just put the head down, feel like eventually they can do it all. And that's a great thing, man. So he's playing like a freshman right now. He's not thinking, he's just running. And he can't really tell me a lot of times what he saw. He just know, Coach, it was there. I saw it, I hit it, I finished. And he did that today. So we'll keep him doing that. Absolutely, we got to find a role. That's something we're evaluating as well. What's the best way to? And again, that talks about not being predictable. Find different ways to incorporate him in the game without just putting him in all the time, and they know what's coming. Obviously, we're gonna have some situations, short yards third, and short yards goal line where he's gonna be, and they know it's coming. It's gonna be will against will. But we need to be able to put him in some situations sometimes where he might be able to do something else other than that. But he got to be able to help us. He did a great job for us this spring.
What's the difference between him being a true fullback versus, you know, in the past just kind of using a tight end as an H-back and kind of big body center?
Now, he embraced contact. He wanted that contact. I don't know if he wanted to catch the ball. He just want to hit somebody. Sometimes them tight end guys, you know, they won't catch the football, which they should, but he's a true fullback. I mean, that's he wants to do that, and we got to have that mentality in short yard situations. You got to be able to have people outside those 5 offensive linemen, and sometimes a 6 offensive linemen, to be able to do that and create movement for us. But he's an old school true fullback that wants to engage in contact and move people, and so that attitude carries over to the other guys. The other guys, you know, guys that we hope would do it, and we ask them to do it, but and Trey Davis will do that. But hey, that's what he is.
Okay, anything else for Coach? All right.
I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you.